叫你坐在位置上，可以不要假装听不见的表情吗？
来都来了，票都买好了，赠品也拿到了，也该去商品部买周边了吧？
所有支持台湾篮球、支持台北富邦勇士的朋友们，大家晚安，大家好！先给进场的自己来点掌声鼓励好吗？谢谢大家都用行动来支持台湾的篮球，支持台北富邦勇士的主场，在今天来到总冠军赛的第3场。 很开心看到所有的勇士伙伴一起跟着勇士回到我们温暖的勇士主场。在今天，希望各位可以跟我们一起捍卫主场，一起拿下我们的目标。而在前面2场，谢谢2队给我们这么精彩的战况，造成了1比1的局面。而在今天回到我们的主场，也要邀请大家全力的一起来为我们的勇士一起全力的呐喊，一起加油，捍卫住我们和平主场。接着呢，回到我们的主场呢，不只有所有的勇士伙伴一起来为勇士加油之外，当然也要邀请到 Angels 带给大家 满满的活力，邀请大家一起来应援。接下来就透过各位的掌声，一起我们的热情掌声欢迎年度最佳啦啦队富邦 Angels。 掌声送给富邦 Angels。
现在介绍双方球队登陆名单。首先介绍客队桃园璞园领航员，球衣背号3号陈立生，5号陈将双，6号关达佑，10号林明威，12号李家康，13号谭杰龙。 25号林正，31号 Number 31阿吉诺，先发球员 Starting by 背号1号 Number 1丁恩迪，21号 Number 21博朗，24号 Number 24葛拉汉，30号白耀成，69号卢俊祥，总教练 Head Coach Caminos， 助理教练兼球员发展总监杨一峰。 助理教练黄启峰、陈世杰、庞伟杰、柯焕维，体能教练刘连杰、刘厚少，副领队兼球团发言人陈信安。 这个赛季我们将再次挑战卫冕军团，无论面对多大挑战，永不退缩，拼尽全力，不留遗憾，为团队、为冠军而战。今年也将再次打造热血沸腾的勇士主场。
As I fall on my face, yeah, they thinking that's all that it takes. Yeah, they going, he's out of the race. Yeah, they counting the hour, but wait, he's beating the odds, taking the game. Still focus to beat it to watch. All of the dodge, all the hits that I took to become what I am is insane. I am unbreakable. I am unstoppable. I am an animal. How can they stop me? I'm breakable. Let's go. I am unbreakable. I am unstoppable. I am an animal. They watch as I'm falling apart. So much pressure that calling it hard is an understatement. The scars are the proof it was deep, it was hard. Okay. I am unbreakable. I am unstoppable. I am an animal. How can they stop me? I'm breakable. I am unbreakable. I am not breaking.
台北富邦勇士的球迷们准备好了吗？让我听到你们的尖叫声！现在介绍地主队台北富邦勇士成为登录名单。首先欢迎勇士吉祥物皮尔。 球员名单背号0号后卫东北角一哥蓝洋小跑车赖廷恩，背号3号后卫来自麻省理工 MIT 学霸 Number 3 Spencer Lee 林俊佑。 背号6号后卫，帅气与球技兼具，国民姐夫吴永胜。背号8号前锋，防守大锁，逆流而上的鲑鱼 ，Number 8周桂宇。背号11号后卫。 3分冷箭，锋芒内敛 ，KJ 洪凯杰。背号14号小前锋，真奇妙老爹，本土洋将队长蔡文成。背号23号前锋。 篮板怪物外籍生强纳森 ，Number 23 九拉森去湖北。背号33号来自加拿大 ，AKA 塞尔维亚中锋内外出击杨科维奇 ，Number 23 Stefan Jankovic。背号88号本土中锋酷帅高冷曾祥军。Now introducing starting by， 下面介绍先发5人名单。背号1号超强外籍生，体能炸裂的4号位大前锋 Big Ball 莫 八爷。背号4号后场发动机，能 hold 住目光的全能后卫陈佑伟。背号10号披荆斩棘的刀锋战士古德温 ，Number 10阿区国队。背号55号巩固禁区，绝不让步，霍家师傅霍利菲 ，Number 55 Michael Holyfield。最后介绍的是背号12号后卫勇士队精神领袖，永远的人气王野兽林志杰。领队兼总教练许晋哲，教练吴永仁，助理教练林伟浩、陈立焕、梁兆轩，体能教练郑维轩，防护师林虎章、彭玉明，球队翻译王义忠，训练员来恩远，总经理叶宗义。
谢谢谢哥在赛前专业又带有亲切，并且是用纯人声来介绍2队的选手以及教练名单。接下来要来送给大家现场的朋友，接好你们的礼物喽！接下来邀请做现场的勇士伙伴，拿起你手中的折扇，将它折起来之后，我要再次邀请富邦英九来到场中。来到勇士的主场呢，我们要来邀请大家一起在赛前学习一下，怎么样继续来为我们支持的台北富邦勇士一起应援加油。会有几种节奏，邀请大家在比赛过程当中听到的时候，跟着富邦英九拿起你手中的折扇，一起拍打，并且一起大声喊出富邦勇士。不管你坐在哪里，我们都先邀请大家先将你手中的折扇折起来，并且准备好，将我们的双手跟着富邦英九一起来动一动。好，折完之后呢，在我们的比赛过程中，来到勇士主场，你会听到的最熟悉的当然就是 Let's Go 富邦 ，Let's Go 勇士，帮我用力的拍打5下 ，Let's Go。Let's go 富邦 ，Let's go 勇士 ，Let's go 富邦 ，Let's go 勇士 ，Let's go 富邦 ，Let's go 勇士。谢谢各位。而在今天我们回到台北，我们的主场呢，那也要邀请大家一起为我们台北都市城市再一起拼一下最新的、最在座的荣耀。邀请大家一起 Go Go 台北台北，拍6下 ，Let's Go。Go Go 台北台北 ，Go Go 台北台北 ，Go Go 台北台北 ，Go Go 台北台北 ，Go Go 台北台北。Go Go 台北台北 Go Go 台北台北 Go Go 台北台北。谢谢大家。在来比赛过程中，你还会听到 TFB， 正是我们球队的英文名称缩写，并且帮我大声的喊出来 TFB 之外，一起带着震撼的声音，一起拍打5下，一起来。TFB。大家来到勇士的主场，一样1个灯、2个灯、3个灯、4个灯，噔噔噔噔，富邦勇士手中的折扇一起拍打4下，喊出来！
主宰光圈的姿态，夺冠，不管一切之类，热血一起全身喝彩，落后就换到发成为，主宰光圈的姿态，夺冠，不管一切之类。
Good evening, fans, wherever you are, however you're streaming, you're watching the 2026 Plus League Finals. Tonight is Wednesday night, June 10th of 2026. It's been all gas, no break as the series shift to Taipei Heping Gymnasium. As we said, we are well underway. Game 3 of the series will commence very shortly here at the historical hallowed grounds of the 3-time Plus League champions, that is Taipei Fubon Braves. As we take a look at the bracket here, the Taipei Fubon Braves played a 4-game series against the TSG Ghost Hawks. Before that was announced that the TSG Ghost Hawks became eligible to participate in the EASL upcoming season ahead. Now, it's been a while since we last returned to Taipei Heping Gymnasium, all the way back on March 14th. My name is Taylor Chen, presenting you tonight's play-by-play, and Ryan Chen, of course, the Plus League English commentator here tonight.
Good evening, Taylor. Good evening, audience. Yes, indeed, back here at Taipei Heping Gymnasium. They did have a good reason to change venues. It was in tribute to Beast on his final retirement season. The Taipei Fubon Braves moved their operations to Taipei Arena, Xiaojudan, where the Braves won that pair of games, and they've had a lot of success here at home. We'll detail that as the series goes on. The Pilots, meanwhile, are trying to not only become back-to-back champions, but kind of break a Game 3 curse. They've lost the last 2 Game 3s of the Plus League Finals, and for them, they've also trying to improve on their record on the road, as they were only 1-3 here at Heping Gymnasium.
欢迎来到勇士的和平篮球馆主场。今天呢，来到我们主场，绝对是要给你很多东西。首先看到比尔手上的应援道具，一定要有的应援手举牌，让你整场一起为勇士拍手应援。再来，卡洛琳秀给大家看。 东西很多，对不对？勇士帮你准备的万用包，你看里面还可以装什么？今天还帮你准备他的最爱林志杰的特展冠军赛的限定门票。这个呢，带给大家，在本周也跟大家预告，本周刚好是杰哥的生日周，我们还有额外的活动，记得到社群来锁定，一起去特展支持杰哥，给他祝福哦。再来，奶昔秀给大家看一下，在今天我们有准备啾啾的气泡水，好喝啊，很多气泡就可以让我们所有的能量借给勇士们。有喝当然要有得吃。 Brian 吃给大家看，我们的乖乖有很多口味，随机的口味带给大家，一起在比赛过程中喊到2的时候，就给你补充能量，将更多能量送给勇士。最后，如果你今天没办法来，没关系，看向 Brian 跟奶昔手上跟他衣服身上，礼拜5 6月12号进场还可以获得我们的台北 T， 一起穿上，为我们台北这座城市还有勇士再拿下一个荣耀。还有礼拜5还有 Fin 哦，代表说我们这2天准备很多的丰富内容，就是要所有的勇士伙伴。 回到勇士主场，一起为勇士加油！
Our little public service announcement for the fans. Don't forget that Lin Zijie has his Beast exhibition located at the Sonyan Tobacco Factory at the A1 warehouse. That exhibition goes until late June. Go while you can, especially with his 44th birthday coming up tomorrow. Jerseys, trophies, rings, and VR activations are available, so get there while you can until late June.
Yeah, this is the 3rd time in Plus League history and in Beast's career that his birthday is coming in amongst the Braves' playoff run. That was Season 2. Braves won the title. Season 3, winning the title. And here in Season 6, trying to overcome the defending champion, Taoyuan Pauian Pilots, who were boosted by their 6-year pro number 6 killer, Guan Dayou, and boosting up Lu Junxiang, coming alive late in the game. as the Pilots able to avoid what the San Antonio Spurs were facing, 2 home losses as the higher seeded team to begin a series. Guan Dayou, known for his defense all of his high school, collegiate, and pro career, but not only opportune with the defense, also taking it for transition scores, and of course, leave it up to the Night King to hit the great close to game icing shot.
Now talk about a scrappy player. Killer scored coming off the bench 16 points and got 4 steals. That's his playoff career high. Now his first ever playoff appearance against the Taipei Fubon Braves, so he only played 1 game in 5 minutes. Let's take a listen to Guan Dayou.
那我觉得我们就是要调试这个心情。那我觉得就是我们都是以团队合作的球队嘛。那我们不管是红花还是绿叶，我们大家其实都不会在意这个主角是谁。那我们大家其实都是很刻意的，很专注的在比赛场面啊，我觉得就是不管是谁在这个角色，然后我们就是以团队合作的一个球队嘛，那我们必须要做出一些穿针引线，然后我们球队有很多得分好手，不管是 P.LEAGUE、俊祥，他们都可以就是辅助他们在得分效率就是非常好。那我们要怎么样去帮助他们，然后让他们就是可以让我们自己的效率变得很好，然后他们的效率也变得很好，然后这就已经就是加到我们的就是整个团队。那我觉得就是在这个团队之中，我们怎么样去设定好我们自己的角色嘛？我觉得就是我们最主要的还是以团队合作，然后让自己的效益变得更大，然后让队友更信任我们，然后让他们可以就是因为他们一定会被就是针对，那他们一定会想办法把球送出来给我们，然后我们怎么样去设定好我们自己的信心，然后做好每一次的出手跟把握这个出手。
Guan Dayou sharing that the Pilots play as a team, no matter what role, focus on the game, and even the most talented scorers need some help. So executing their roles builds trust and thus better success out there. Well, Guan Dayou getting the Guan Yu treatment with our pregame graphic in Game 2 of last year's finals. Pitched in 7 points, all in the second half in only 16 minutes of action. While in Game 2 of this series, as you mentioned, set a playoff high, finals high, 16 points, and was a game high plus 14 in his 14 minutes of action. Guan Dayou was the Pilots' inaugural season as kind of starting Pauian starting 2 guard, starting 4 out of the 5 playoff games in their very first season, and then at the same time, the others joined on. On the other side, the Braves' Chen was interviewed.
不能松懈吧，就是可能领先10几分，或者是只要领先的时候，大家还是要专注在每一个 play 上面，就是不可以就是有任何的一些晃神啊，或者是一些不专心的地方，就很容易就被对方可能超前，或者是追上来这样。所以我觉得在每个 play 都要很专注，然后打到就是结束为止这样。我觉得代表我们进攻上还有很多问题需要去解决吧。然后在这2天休息，其实教练也跟我们说，在进攻上的一些调整或者是一些细节上可以怎么做可以更好这样。那我觉得就是保持球流动吧，然后在进攻选择上可以再做得更好，然后在失误上面当然是可以再降低一点，然后让就可能让我们的进攻可以再更好这样。
On the other side, it was Jerry Chen saying that in these playoff series, you can't even relax with the lead, and opponents will take advantage of your mistakes. And as for the turnover issue, saying they did indeed have offensive problems to solve, but during the off time, made some adjustments. He keyed in on moving the ball and making smarter decisions. That all sounds like sound advice from the Braves starting point guard.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we tally up the turnovers total committed by the Taipei Fubon Braves. Well, they committed 43 turnovers so far in the series. But on the other hand, I do want to talk about the Taoyuan Pilots now. Guan Dayou really was the game changer of Game 2 because we saw a huge lull from the Taoyuan Pilots' offense for over 3 minutes as we take a look at the referees on screen.
From left to right, it will be Hong Yongyu, Zhang Yu, Zhang Wei Yue, and then Zhang Junyao, excuse me, from left to right. And Amdi, Alec Brown, Travion Graham, Ethan Bialton, and Justin Lu Juchang will start the same starting 5. The Braves will be bringing in Holyfield, Baye, Goodwin, Beast at the 2 guard, and Chen at point.
It was the first time we're seeing this starting 5 in the finals.
Yeah, I was referring to the same as in, this is the same starting line we saw a lot of the regular season, excuse me. William Martino has been actually in the starting role as our guest, countering Michael Holyfield, but maybe Andy's been doing a good enough job to warrant these starts.
Yeah, you can really tell in the last 2 games, anytime Andy is rotated in to guard Holyfield, you can really see him get under Holyfield's skin. So again, as Ryan mentioned, Artino, 6th man of the year, will be coming off the bench tonight as Wu Jinxiang gets things started with an and 1, Taoyuan's first foul.
The opening defensive look, the Braves looking like they were going on man defense with Justin going right to the cup instead of working that 2-man game on the left corner as Coach Sean and Coach Cho Da-zong, or Coach Jack, was detailing the pregame
3 points to get started for the Pilots. And for the Braves, it is still the same starting 5 as we've seen the last 2 games. Archie Goodwin resorting to a kick-out reset over to Yowei. Too strong a shot out of bounds. And it is still Braves ball.
The Braves, as you mentioned, haven't played here since mid-March. And back then, Aaron Uyongen was the head coach. Since then, Roger taking over in a quick substitution. Bringing Yankovic.
Very early on in this game, we haven't even gotten a minute in.
Could be a matchup thing.
As you mentioned, Ryan, since Rogers returned back as head coach, as Archie Goodwin tries to sink the 3 from up top. He's got a 6-1 record in the regular season, coming back in March 20th.
Great pass all the way down court. Andy, after the contest, was the furthest man away from the Braves' goal, and a good feed by Justin. Now, Archie Goodwin is a pretty good transition shot blocker, but Andy switching shoulders, able to get the foul. 2 early ones on the Braves.
First one is good. .40 is the current score as we take a look at his Game 1 and Game 2 performance. 0 points and 4 rebounds in Game 1. Game 2, though, is a different story. 9 points and 9 rebounds coming off the bench, playing 22 minutes.
As we mentioned, Amdi coming in for Artino, who fouled out of the game in Game 2. And PLEAGUE was actually comfortable with Alec Brown and Amdi as their front court with no Travion Graham, which is a big reason why Amdi didn't play more in Game 1.
Pull-up jumper for Beast falls too short. Yeah, it was an interesting call for Yergi Caminos to sub Artino within the game so early, as he committed his 6 and graduated for the rest of the 4th quarter. But as we've given him flowers, Amdi Dan fit the bill just fine, as Mo will be sent to the line.
By trying to have a bounce back in this series, and really a bounce back in this whole playoff run. He's only averaging 9 points on a not good efficiency, really forcing the issue a lot. But that time he had the advantage, forced 2 defenders on him, and ended up with the whistle, trying to break the seal for the Braves in Game 3.
He started Game 2 strong. Scored double digits in the first half. But a huge problem, I would say, for the Taipei Fubon Braves is in the 4th quarter, only Yankovic and Taoyuan scored, and unable to close out and take the win on the road.
Yeah, well, Yankovic sure made it a game, but the final result was only by 4 points. If Yankovic didn't put in his 13, the Braves would be much further behind.
This series is showing that there's very little separation between these 2 teams. Only 6 points total. As again, we saw our first Game 1 OT, where the Braves won 97-95. There goes that hand reach for Chen.
It seems like the pilots were setting up a play, but Andy wasn't ready on the catch, didn't seal off.
Catch and shoot, sent but not delivered to the hoop. Again, Graham still on the court, getting his first game start in this final series. A rematch between the Taipei Fubon Braves and the Pilots. 6 seconds on the clock, hitting nothing but net for Lu Jingxiang.
Wow, incredible. Maybe trying to draw a whistle there, instead just floating it up with a prayer.
Here's a catch and shoot for Yankovic. Sinker off the glass.
And Yankovic hitting on 11 of 21 threes in this finals.
Yeah, he went 4 for 5. Their last matchup. Interesting, and again, we mentioned interesting choice for Roger to sub him in early. Again, we're talking about the importance of the matchups right now. As we see so far in this game, the Braves are 1 for 5 only from the field. Lack of communication there. Goodwin picks up where they're left off. Dian will get called the pushing foul.
Did his best to try to slide his feet. Yankovic has been going with a shot fake dribble drive a lot of this regular season, but the three coming alive in the playoffs. He's getting a look. Justin putting it up there after beating Mo on the dribble. Mbaye was much more disciplined. And well, the breaks going the Pilots' way early.
Kick out, back to Yankovic. He dribble drives down the lane, but nothing to show for. Lu Jingxiang carries it back. Lobs it outwards to Brown in the corner. Unwise move there as you got Mo to intercept the pass. That's the Pilots' first turnover, and here's Goodwin from the wing. Yes! Down the hatch it goes.
Bad job by the Pilots, not going one-on-one defense. Amby and Graham were on the man closest to the basket, leaving Goodwin, one of the better Braves scorer, open.
And not very efficient on the Pilots' end. There was a turnover and a field goal allowed on their end. And here goes another possession for the Braves. Handoff to Yankovic, and that shot was too strong. And outnumbered. There's the fast break. Good look there by Chen.
Both teams want to be clinical on the defensive rebounds, and even outnumbered, the Pilots able to get a breakout with Travion Graham doing a little cherry picking there.
First bucket early in the game as the whistle comes. For once again, Andy, that's his second one already. Oh, we might be seeing Artino not too far in the future.
Amby does have to work on keeping his sheet cleaner, as he does have one of the highest foul rates in the Plus League over the course of his 4-year career.
Graham and Dian are subbed out. Artino and Lee Jiakang will check into the game. High screen off of Yankovic on the corners. No sinker, but Yankovic picks it up. Interesting spacing there. No look pass from Beast. Go away with a teardrop off mark. And off to the races, Pilots go. Not quite fast enough. Here comes William Artino. Almost left wide open there. No one caught on until Mo, but too little too late.
A good job by Artino switching to the right hand. That was the open side. And the Pilots, once again, getting the stop. Maybe not getting the layup in transition, but creating an advantage. There's some former teammate crime as Alec Brown stops Goodwin.
Chen trying to find his big man for the alley-oop. A
lot of contact there, but no result, and The Pilots' early lead has held it to our official timeout.
来被拍到的这一组，你们是否愿意跟比尔交个朋友？可以的话，一起比个圈圈好吗？小朋友，你愿意吗？好，比较害羞一点。有，比尔他有。来，这位朋友，你愿意跟比尔交个朋友吗？比尔是圈圈，不是爱心。哇，他也送你一个圈圈，也送你一个爱心。来，这位帅哥。谢谢。哎，比尔，你这样不行哦。欢迎富邦悍将守护神曾俊岳来到勇士主场，你愿意跟我们的比尔交个朋友吗？给他一个圈圈，给他一个叉叉。来，下面一位朋友，你愿意跟比尔当个朋友吗？比尔，你今天不太行。哎，欢迎悍将主场的主播前天元主播，欢迎前色。
You're watching the Plus League Finals. Game 3 is set here at Heping Gymnasium as we're taking a look at the stadium cam right now with Bill right and left swiping in their own fashion. As we have an early called timeout with the score 15-8. Taoyuan Pauian Pilots with the lead.
Pilots taking advantage of the fact that they've been holding the Braves down to 2 of 11 shooting start and securing 7 out of the 9 available rebounds, converting that into a little bit more rhythm and offensively. How about being lucky with that Justin floater as in the building, as seeing members of the Fubon Guardians taking in the game.
Yeah, we got a handful of them as pitcher Sean Moramondo, first baseman Fan Guochen, pitcher Chen in the crowd tonight.
Part of the Braves' turnover issues includes 2 each game of sideline or baseline out-of-bounds turnovers, yet the Pilots cough it up to get action going again here in the first.
Yo Wei swinging it over to Zijie, and beast mode is fully dialed up.
Usually Beast is getting down screen for and shooting on the wing. This time going to the corner.
That is a travel call on Will Artino. Take a look. Zijie's first bucket tonight.
Yeah, Lee Jiakang tried to shoot through the middle, and a great read by Beast to fade or flare to the corner.
So the scorekeepers adjust the score as it ended up only being 2 points, not 3, as he stepped on the line on execution. And Michael Holyfield checks into the game after the timeout. Chen Jianshuang also out over to Yo Wei, left wide open. No answer there. Ling Zijie picking up, clears the rebound. Clock is ticking, 4 seconds remain, and that shot was blocked off, taken down by Alec Brown. Jiakang for 3. No dice. And the whistle comes, offensive foul.
Pilots coming out of timeout, not very crisp. Had that pass out of bounds, had the travel, and that it certainly looks like a missed call to me. Did Alec Brown tug at the jersey?
I would say that's probably what the referees were looking at. You see the slightest little pull from Brown as Hong Kai-jie KJ comes in. We have Zhen Xiangjun, also number 88 from the Braves. Chen Jianshuang.
But this is what the Pilots can count on, a good deflection on the pass.
Guan Dayo, serial killer, off to Artino. Stopped in his tracks by Holyfield. Or the fadeaway? Yes.
Owen coming into this series, 57% on his 7 attempts from 2-point range. That fadeaway jumper is his bread and butter.
Ten seconds remain on the shot clock. Trying to find Zheng Xiangchun, but that pass was too high. As it goes back over to Pilots, KJ will commit his first foul.
Well, so much for not turning the ball over. The Pilots so far with 5, and the Braves already blocked at the rim a whole bunch of times by Alec Brown, and then it looks like it might have been Holyfield trying to body down low.
It was, in fact, a foul on Holyfield.
Kind of screen there.
Taoyuan coming in. 4 minutes, 20 seconds remain in the first quarter, and the Pilots carry on the lead for the entirety of the first so far. Graham getting tripped up there.
Yeah, against one of the Braves' most handsy defenders in KJ. Had a little bit of a leverage going to the basket. Passed him up, and an accurate pass. Maybe the fans kind of reacting to the head gyration.
So the Braves, they had one more foul to spare before both teams enter the penalty, or free throws are automatic on both sides. 3 seconds. Owen through Josh, and KJ left without a bucket. Outwards back to Goodwin. Threading the needle over to Michael Holyfield for the up high, down hard jam. The quick over to transition. Artino, hook, line, and sinker goes through.
Now Archie Goodwin also trying to reduce his turnovers on the series. He does average 3 assists. Recall, he is the highest usage player of the Braves all season.
Holyfield with a downhill drive that was too strong off the glass.
Don't see him usually dribble penetrate.
Behind the back pass over to Artino. That was a gamble that they did not win, and Michael Holyfield comes in trying to bring down the hammer, but he ends up on the floor.
Numbers for the Braves, and not a bad decision to give it to trailing Holyfield. Try to go with a dunk finish instead of laying it in, and Bandayo ended up in his way. So I would say, relatively speaking, a win for the Pilots. As you see, Holyfield, he just a little bit, and then the fall afterwards might be leaving in a bruise.
So he will be sent to the line. Even caught Bandayo with him also.
Hey, on the first 2 games of this series, by my count, the Braves had 7 unforced turnovers in game 1. 4 of those in that 2-1 start where we only had free throws, as Holyfield sinks 2. And they only had 2 unforced turnovers in game 2, both early on. So the Braves have seen a lot of giveaways early on the game. And for the second half, that's where the Pilots defense really put the pressure on them.
Saw briefly on the screen as a Killer dials in, gets the answer up top. We saw briefly Gianluca Ciucci, the national Chinese Taipei head coach, watching on tonight's finals here at Hoping Gymnasium, and Taoyuan answers the call back with his first 3 tonight. The score is 22-17.
Killer most recently on the extended roster for Chinese Taipei. Josh, on the other hand, has been donning the national team colors for a number of seasons.
Outwards to Jia Kang, pulling up and shakes in the 2.
The Braves know that the pilots love to get that hammer pass to the other man on the wing, so a good adjustment to deliver a pass. And then Guandayo turned into a screener. That's what you're talking about. Roles flipping in an instant, but supporting each other on offense.
Again, there's a good find, but they could not execute with Holyfield. Guarded by Artino in the paint.
And pilots need to find a body to block out. Zheng Xiangjun and Holyfield out there make it a major problem.
Trying to beat the clock. That goes around and out. They call an offensive foul on Goodwin.
And let's take another look at that one, as Goodwin does kick his legs out when he takes jumpers, but does it raise to the point where it is the initiation of the contact? It's very close there. I don't know. That might be one you just let go.
Yeah, I would agree with that sentiment.
Because, well, Jackie is entitled to his own cylinder, and Goodwin does take that shot from quite far away. Regardless, if you call offensive foul, the offensive team will be very frustrated. If you call a defensive foul, the defensive side will be super frustrated. But what is called is now in the books, as the referees have a discussion going on.
Not all parties are going to be happy, as you mentioned. Somebody's going to be unhappy one way or the other. Goodwin will get a breather with 94 seconds on regulation. Got a bit of a delay right now.
Now the confusion is whether it's a loose ball foul, because Goodwin, as the shooter, once he releases the ball, then he becomes an eligible rebounder. So an awkward situation where Lee Jiakang go to the line on what supposedly is an offensive foul.
So they're going to count the basket. As you see, the score has been updated to 20 points on the Brave side. As we see, as Ryan mentioned, Jiakang being sent to the line.
That's weird, because I remember Goodwin missed the three. So
yeah.
I wonder what's the justification to allow the three to count but call the foul. I think maybe the Braves wanted the opposite. You know what, take the points off. We'd rather Goodwin not get that foul called against him.
Quite an unusual call indeed. So the game continues on. Fubon Braves down to 5 points, trying to make it to 3, but unable to do so there. And we get the Braves committing another foul.
Overall free throw shooting in this series in the first 2 games, only 59%, with the Braves 9 for 20. And that's an area that the fans were pointing out, rightfully so, that, hey, look, in a 1-possession, 2-possession games, you get your average of free throws, we'll be all right. In fact, maybe the winners, thanks to Yankovic's heroics at the end.
Now, luckily for the Pilots, in game 2, their free throw percentage showed far improvement from the first game. They were 25 and 33, so 75% at the free throw line. Whereas for the Braves, same can't be said. If anything, they shot worse. 45% at the line on game 2. Lights again committed his first foul just now. Yankovic swinging it outwards for the reset. Pulling up with a hook pass over to Zhouguiyur from the corner. Greases the cylinder.
Braves would sure like to see Zhouguiyur heat up in these playoffs. Only 13% on 15 three-pointer shots, including against the Pilots and the Ghost Hawks in that best-of-5 series you mentioned.
So far, he's 2 for 2 from out in the perimeter. Double pump from Guandayo over to Artino, and Holyfield and William Artino battle it out, and it's going to be called on Artino.
Maybe unlucky for Artino, but at the same time, you got to consider the risk and reward of going at Holyfield on the block. As you see, what a great pass by Yankovic. his passing certainly much improved, as maybe Artino's got a case for, he had a lot of hand on that basketball, maybe you just allow a play on, and Holyfield did spin out of the contact and the possible tie-up.
24.9 seconds, Alec Brown returns to the court. Holyfield's second time at the line. In the playoffs, he's been a 55% shooter, free throw shooter.
Yeah, Holyfield is a powerful center in the middle. Oh, his efficient finishing is not really his calling card. Doesn't have the touch like William Artino, but he is very powerful and a very great read on the offensive and defensive rebounds. You see the Braves kind of squish together a zone with time running down.
He's been enough of an effect where we saw William Artino getting his third and fourth game start overall in this entirety of the season. Jia Kang too short, off target. Holyfield once again knocked down to the ground.
Think nothing of it. The quarter seems like it's in the books.
There you have it. The score 27-21 with the Taoyuan Pauian Pilots on the road taking the lead so far in Game 3. We will be right back with more Plus League Finals.
Let's go! 出富邦勇士，哪边最大声，声音越大声，礼物就送给各位。声音一起来，借给 Angel。双手继续拍，继续喊出富邦勇士，一起为勇士来加油。
Welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Ryan Chen, joined by Taylor Chen on this Plus League English broadcast. We're in the finals, Game 3. A little switcheroo. We're here in the second quarter. Tay, interesting enough, the Pilots with a shot diet of only three-point attempts. Seems like the Braves are changing up their defense to be very aggressive, and the Pilots are end up dribbling past a lot of their defenders.
Yeah, I would say both teams are being very reactive or responsive to each other, as we had Andy Dan and Trevion Graham getting their first game starts in the series, but unfortunately for Dan, he had committed 2 fouls early on in the game, so that game plan was out the window.
Meanwhile, at 1 minute and 34 seconds, Archie Goodwin called for a foul on his shot attempt. Maybe his frustration is why he's on the bench. So that means Yankovic and Holyfield, as you see, Trevion Graham blow up Yankovic. And that will be the first foul of the quarter, playing Yankovic very physically.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing Graham playing as the starter tonight again. It's been a while since he's really logged in that many minutes, as he's been in and out of injury all season long.
Reach back by Guan Dayo, and Brown tugged on, and the Braves foul the Pilots in transition.
Yeah, the Pilots committed 6 turnovers early on in the game.
I think it's imperative for that man right there, Ethan Pauian, to get control of the team's offense, not risk those long passes, give it to your point guard, and then break the offense down court that way. As Travion Graham on the inside feed, and recall that Graham was the Pilots standout in last year's game 3 with 29 points. Yankovic now getting the switch onto Justin. The step back 3, got it! What a splash.
Quite an accurate shooter for the Braves. It's 100% still.
Meanwhile, down court, an and one answer is that killer, Guan Dayo. You know, I'm noticing Guan Dayo has been losing a little bit of weight since his rookie season, but I was thinking he was losing some muscle to stay agile. Meanwhile, see Yankovic give a little shoulder bump to Justin, create space, and look, he's already tall enough to make shots. Meanwhile, Guan Dayo trying to think of a pass, but then when Yankovic sealed it off, he had to go to the goal and off the window and in.
I mean, you mentioned him losing some weight, but maybe he's become even scrappier and even faster.
Yeah, so Guan Dayo now 8 points on perfect from the field and the line. What a way to go. Try to run Beast baseline again, but popping out for 3, and Lin Zijie, a day before his birthday, still putting in the work.
Yeah, he made one on the opposite side early in the first quarter, so he certainly prefers being here at Heping Gymnasium.
On the other side, it's Graham going from post-up to screening as Ethan, no score there. Pilots trying to claim interference. You know, Yankovic, no, and Josh with the follow-up. So 2 points missed on one side, and then 2 points for the other team.
Braves really correcting themselves on transition.
Reaching foul by Yankovic as Graham was making a move. Maybe our chance to take another look at the plays before, and especially that possible interference. As you see, Beast, previous play, try to go baseline, this time countering outside, and he's got the height advantage and the leaping advantage over Guan Dayo. Braves already with 3 team fouls on the quarter and make it 4. Braves been pulling in closer. In a look though, he jumped at the shot as Yankovic, or Holyfield, excuse me, still the last line of defense, prevent an and one. Pilots a little bit of a 5 wide look as Justin, floater missed, a little too strong. Here come the Braves. He's trying to dribble amongst 3 defenders and sticks with the ball. Called for traveling. And a tough go. He was hounded all down court. And just when you thought he might retain possession, you see Guan Dayo, Graham, there's a little bit of contact there. And then Justin not completing the dive on the basketball. Well, thankfully nobody's hurt. Trying to extend on a 3-point lead. Graham and Brown on the side. Graham floating it up. That's a close miss.
Yeah, Yankovic, the only big under the basket, ready to corral their rebound. Brown was already ready to transition back over to defense.
Beast misses. Yankovic almost tapped it in. Pilots might have numbers. They rotated to the right place. The probing attack as the 3 from the outside, still a miss. Pilots here in the second quarter getting cold. Only 2 for 6, but it seems like coming out of that last stoppage from the foul, Meo Lanzilla as a double foul is called. I think it was Justin and KJ getting tied up together.
As of right now, the Pilots, they haven't made any attempts from out the perimeter. So far, they're only 2 for 5 from the field.
You know, look, there was already some contact, and then Justin might have the case that KJ raised his arm up. A funny looking play as maybe the double foul is, in this rare occasion, a good call. Time running down, Justin trying to defend Taoyuan, who's fouled on the hook shot. Maybe some frustration building on the Pilot side. This Braves 4-0 run has been going on for the last 3 minutes, so an extended stretch. Pilots not scoring. Justin hand just down a little bit. I think that's the right call.
As of right now, we only saw Zizia with the 3, sinking the 3 from the corner. They're already in foul trouble.
The Braves had a 12-point run to build up to a 12-point lead in the third quarter, where the Pilots called timeouts. And then the Pilots countered back real hard. And then, as we said, Yankovic kind of had to keep the Braves' hopes alive down the stretch.
I think that's what we saw really often during the regular season. They've been a dominant team all season long, obviously, but we catch them unable to close out games in a definitive manner.
Finally, Willie Martino on the tough bank shot ends that run, that scoreless run by the Pilots.
Pauian has really shown how valuable he is at being a playmaker. He made 9 assists in Game 2.
On the other side, Taoyuan almost to Holyfield. Quick 2-man game as Holyfield recovers to Artino. Meanwhile, Alec Brown stopped initially by Mbaye. Not a lot of time has come off here in the second quarter as Ethan to Artino, finding space, might have been deflected.
Again, Holyfield showing how valuable he is, protecting the paint there.
Yeah, average 2.8 blocks per game. As the Braves turn it over. Jackie beating his man, but swatted away by Mbaye. Now ball on the deck, a dive by the Pilot and the Braves. Still going, and finally a tie-up jump ball is called.
It took them a minute to call jump ball there. You see Mo holding on to his shin there.
Well, at first, it was his effort on the block, even though Lee Jiakang got by him, but Mbaye, simply too tall with too much bunnies, end up getting the block shot despite getting passed up and then jumping back into play where we had that scramble. At least 4 different players by my count got a touch of the basketball, end up with Chen Jiangshuang and Mbaye.
I think there's 5 bodies that hit the floor total.
Well, the importance of Game 3 is that 4 out of the 5 previous playoff finals in the Plus League, Game 3 winner won the series. Brown, turnaround, jumper, a little short as Jackie flies in for the board. Pilots going cold. Well, a few offensive boards might give him a little bit more rhythm. Back to Artino and Butterfingers putting it up on the way down. Well, Martino a couple of buckets to give the Pilots some breathing room.
Now that's what Guan Dayo was talking about in the pregame interview, how you have a lot of options or a lot of shooters. But it's more so about optimizing the players on the court. As we saw Guan Dayo, Lu Junxiang late in the second half as bodies hit the floor. Again, Big Mo on the floor, wincing though.
Yeah, there was some hard contact on that 2-man game with Mbaye. Hope it's not on the knee, maybe just a thigh contusion. As you see Archie Goodwin, they love to run this 2-man game as Ethan pretty sturdy guard in his own right. You know, look, trying to lock and trail in the from behind, with Alec Brown offering a little bit of support, but significant contact the refs couldn't ignore.
It looks to be a nasty contusion. Probably just needs a moment, a break. Because again, Pilots are still leading, and kind of hear Coach Roger on the sideline.
Pauian will limp off.
That's a tough injury, because if it is indeed a contusion, it's usually the second day that hurts the most. And again, we have quick turnarounds for the final series.
That's right. Starting game 3, it will be every other day, a game day. That is the fastest the Plus League, and the shortest span, I should say, the Plus League finals will go across, as the Braves will be making a change. Zheng Xianjun will return to the floor.
Yeah, even though Mo has been struggling overall in the playoffs, well, he did turn it around in game 2, scored 16 points for the Braves.
More Archie Goodwin. Over to Chen Yue, quick pass. Zheng Xianjun with a mid-range jumper. Back to Owen, an open 3, knocks it down. Once again, it's Guan Dayo driving the basketball. Brave defense, not marking that man in a Pilots lead. 39-33 as we're in the break here in the second quarter.
现场，我在这边邀请他们展现一下他们的臂力，好吗？
所有人都在看这边，所以他就从里面这样绕过来，或者是
不是要给你玩哦。
Every time that they want the pin down, he's going to reject and play to the other side. So better, make them to play low. Okay, make them to play low. Now, you and you, ready always. Even you can switch because.
接好了。 哦，磊哥再一个，磊哥再一个 ，Mando 再一个，来接好球喽！既然有棒球选手来，我们就邀请他们来抛今天的参赛者资格。再次提醒，接到小球的朋友，那个不是礼物。
Welcome back to the broadcast. It's the English commentary track featuring a brother-sister duo, Ryan Chen and Taylor Chen. Here in the second quarter, the Braves kind of bring it in close and might build some momentum by bringing in Archie Goodwin back off the bench. He had 2 fouls early on, but it seems like their offensive rhythm is very temperamental. The Pilots are such a tough, tenacious defensive unit. They really can't build much rhythm.
Yeah, you know, pre-game interview, Guan Dayo was talking about how their ethos and their team identity is having a collective mindset, prioritizing defense. And, you know, luckily for them right now, the offense is just relatively automatic, as we see. They're still leading 39-33.
That defense is holding the Braves as a turnover right away. There were just 2 offensive players and 2 defenders. That's really unacceptable. You as a coach, you might be able to scoff at 3 defenders on 2 offensive players. You throw it away instead of giving it to the defense for a cherry-pick layup. But 2 on 2, that can't happen. So with the possession, Guan Dayo slicing overhead pass to Artino, who hammers past to Chen Jianshuang. Rotated around as Jackie finds a shot, beating the clock from 10 feet away, and the Pilots take advantage of that Braves miscue.
And that was really tough, though, because initially, Braves were really successful in continuing on with that string of defense there. But as you said, just that millisecond, and the Pilots took full advantage.
He's picked up the dribble, is in some trouble now, as stripped from the ball, and a whistle does come. Well, that sent Lin Zijie to the line as the Pilots in the penalty now, as Yergi with a thumbs up. I think, an opportune time to reach for the basketball, but the thumbs up must mean somebody on the pilot side saw the video, saw the foul.
Saw the hand reach there by Li Jiakang as we have Ziji at the line. I saw him earlier when he was trying to get the loose ball, where we witnessed the jump ball. Kind of held on to his wrist there. Hopefully he managed to shake that off and it wasn't an issue.
He's working with that wrist injury from Game 7 of last year's finals. Plenty of signages. And maybe if things go well, we'll see Winston, Taoyuan, one of the other senior members of the team in there.
I don't even think we've seen a single minute out of him in this series.
Not yet. He's only appeared once in the Ghost Talk series as Braves stay matched up. Chen Jiangshuang out to Alec Brown, shoots the deep three, no good, and a chance for the Braves to run. Taoyuan with the rebound, immediately taking it down court. Holyfield will offer up a screen, it's solid with the advantage. Alec Brown got a loose ball out of it, still ping-ponging around as a reaching foul. Holyfield stuck with the play, and he'll be rewarded with 2 free throws.
He really had to battle through because you have Alec Brown as well as Artino to push through. You see the 2 big walls there.
Now this is Holyfield's first time returning to Taipei Heping Gymnasium in a player's role since the 23-24 season with the Lioneers. That was the only year the Braves did not make the Plus League playoffs. As you see Beast, every game has got those heat pads on his thighs to stay warm, stay loose.
Michael Holyfield, he had his Taipei Fubon Braves debut at the Mini Dome, actually, for Beast's retirement. And it was quite a moving ceremony after their close game against the Yankee Arc.
Time running down again, and Guan Dayo forcing up a 3. It's missed, but the hustle by Artino ends up getting the ball out of bounds.
So we still going through a little bit of a scoring lull in the second quarter. Apologies.
Yeah, first quarter, Pius 27 points. We are close to 2/3 of the way through the second and 14 points. Meanwhile, the Braves, though, can't be happy after closing it to a 1-possession game here in the second. Graham still on Holyfield. Artino guarding the basket, leaving Goodwin, who misses the open 3. Try to rotate as oh no, it's Josh with the bucket, getting past Guan Dayo.
Yeah, Archie Goodwin's take, that was only their 3rd attempt from out the perimeter in the second.
Trying to figure out the spacing as a good diving effort by Josh. Martino still ends up with it, and a whistle comes. Chen Xiangqun thought he got a clean defensive play, and I believe almost all of this arena believes so too. Let's take another look. Chen Xiangqun and Artino have been in plenty of camps, and actually on the replay, there might be some forearm caught.
Yeah, just the slightest graze against Artino. So softly that Chen Xiangqun didn't feel it himself.
The only argument you can make is if you think Chen Xiangqun caught the basketball before the hand, before the arm, but you need to get a significant piece of the rock to then have the follow-through not count as a foul. Martino, not the most proficient at the free throw line, but making the first. No good on the second.
I gotta say, calling these last couple of games, Ryan, I am quite surprised at the free throw percentages. I'm impressed in a way of how consistently inconsistent they are.
On the way down, Josh gets it to fall. That time using the pick and roll. Braves playbook. Josh, pick and roll is the #3 option. Let's keep it rotating as Killer, nice fake pass down to Artino, maneuvering to the left hand and scoops it in.
Yeah, Fubon Braves just aren't quite fast enough. They aren't running they are running faster than usual as they have to against this young, scrappy Pilots. But again, when you're behind just by a millisecond, they'll most likely convert.
Finally, in the second quarter, we get to call out Archie Goodwin's name with that layup attacking the basket. Graham out to Jackie. Good defense by the Braves with 5 seconds left. Killer Guandayo from the parking lot, short.
Yeah, he was making those tough shots in game 2.
Braves maybe looking at a second side as Goodwin cuts to the basket. Still guarded by Jackie. He's not getting a lot of post-ups in amongst the crowd. Chen Xiangjun misses the push as Holyfield picks up his teammate. A 1-point game.
And this is all to say that Archie Goodwin has only scored 2 points in the second. So it's all thanks to his teammates, as well as those offensive rebounds thanks to Holyfield. That's 8 for the Braves, 6 for the Pilots.
One thing that Holyfield has shared with us is to kind of stick with the game plan, continue with the effort, as there have been plenty of first halves where he doesn't get many looks, doesn't get many opportunities, but Zokwe is earning his playing time in this one. A couple of tough takes, better decision making here in the second. Of course, Archie Goodwin, almost every game will get 1 or 2 of those driving layups, and you see with William Martino out of position, not much chance for the Pilots against Michael Holyfield, who shows the audience a little bit of love.
Yeah, he only scored 6 points in game 2, but around 18 rebounds, 9 of them from offensive rebounds.
Well, here in Taiwan, the stocks, when they are green, that's when they are headed down. Well, the Braves, some of their key scorers, including Beast, Goodwin, and Mbaye, seeing their average scoring compared to the regular season go down. Well, in these finals, which admittedly is small sample size, nearly double-digit decreases in their field goal percentage. Well, let's see if returning home will improve those numbers. Archie Goodwin led the league with nearly 26 points per game, and Beast, in only 17 minutes, can average 7 points. And Mbaye, the only Brave to make the Plus League first team, averaged nearly 16 points per game. An improvement on last year's 10 in a short season for him, having to work off a foot injury. Out of the timeout with under 2 minutes remaining. Little driving kick offense for the Pilots and a close miss for Jackie.
We talked about those stats, Ryan. It kind of just goes to show regular season might mean nothing when it comes to playoffs. Those stats could be out the window.
Josh driving, a clutching miss, but on the follow-up, Chen Xiangjun puts the Braves ahead here in the second quarter.
And they need that. It's the first time that the Braves have the lead here at home in this series. This is to say that Chen Xiangjun is getting extra minutes right now with Mo getting that knee contusion earlier in the second quarter.
Martino with a rare 3-point attempt as Travion Graham might have bullied the Braves there with that rebound and putback.
I think that was Will's first 3-point attempt for the finals.
Not attempt very many during this stint with the Pilots, something he featured a little bit with the Lioneers. Tough take, and Goodwin, count it.
And you see Holyfield there, his back against Will Artino, really effective there in giving that lane allowance for Goodwin to run the dribble drive, getting the and one.
Guandayo in the regular season had a tough time guarding Archie Goodwin. Most of it was going left, though. This time, Archie Goodwin kind of on that curl from the left wing, going to a strong right hand. Maybe something going on with that wrist, though. Free throw good as well, so it's a 2-point lead for the Braves.
Yeah, just to remind people that the Braves, they technically have not won a single game against the Pilots here at Hoping. They won that game out at the Mini Dome for Beast's retirement weekend.
Bad decision. Jump pass by Owen. Takeaway. Alley-oop by Goodwin.
Great finish there between Youe and Goodwin.
Tino going down low and called for traveling. And so that's consecutive turnovers for the Pilots.
Fortunately for the Pilots' end, you see them kind of unraveling towards the end of the second.
A great run down the stretch by the Braves. It is now a 5-0 stretch. As 2 seconds left, Yankovic, they're going to wave it off despite him putting it on goal. So 50-46 for the Taipei Fubon Braves is the lead. As stick around, we'll have Aaron interviewing one of the staff members of the Braves.
场面为你访问到的是许定的总教练，许哥来谈一下哦。还记得在 Game 2的时候，你有讲到，就是冠军战应该是一个防守的状况。今天看起来比分也的确比较低，那这样子的内容目前觉得如何？
我们还是有很多必须要改进的，就是在弱边的部分，让他们小个子的球员太多的进攻篮板，所以这一定要去改善。然后我们自己进攻上面不能太急躁，因为对方的确防守比较压迫，要减少失误。
上半场桂鱼打得特别的不错，在赛前有什么样特别的计划给他吗？
他自己非常有企图心啊，像今天早上来训练，他个人训练非常长的时间嘛，所以我也看到了这一点，所以当然今天想要给他更多的时间。
谢谢许哥，谢谢。我们休息一下之后回来。
我有你会陪着我走，我永不退缩，我勇敢向前冲，就算失败也要停下了展望，就做，忍受自我也要发光闪烁。
掌声送给富邦 Angels 带来勇士的年度主题曲《勇敢冲》。好，在这边再次提醒接到小球的朋友们，还有3组还没有来到集合，赶紧带着你的伙伴。接到球的朋友要带着一位你的队友哦。我们是2两1组来做 PK。再来还有我们的神预测，神预测的2位幸运得主也记得先来报到，待会可以来进行领奖。今天的游戏非常简单，考验着你们的默契。来，我们来确认一下集合的状况。来，帮我移动脚步。我们待会会2两1队，然后 2组做 PK。没错，比尔今天就是要一个头，不是2个大，一个头一个接啊。来，我们有集合报道完成了吗？来，哦，今天有看到亲子档，也有情侣档，也有兄弟档。好，那我们第1回合的2组先帮我来到场中。好，这边第1组亲子档嘛，还有吗？好，来，我们来到场中，先跟你们说明一下规则，谁负责背包包？谁？来，我们面向前方，镜头在前方。来，谁负责背包包？背包包的要负责接哦。那先把包包背起来，那球就交给另外。
好的，经过上半场精彩的鏖战了以后，我们马上看他上半场有什么精彩的关键时刻哈。
OK， 好啊，我这里呢还是主要服务这个富邦勇士的球迷了哈。我们看第二球，
那是第2球。什么？先这个 ，OK。哦，我们看到今天两边也做出了辩证，领航员把葛拉汉跟丁恩迪放赛，是不是听了我们上一场的建议？
没错，
很有可能哈。OK， 那开赛的第1个 play。我们看下领航员做了什么，就是跟上一场一样，很针对性的，他们做了这个双下挡 stagger， 之后呢，马上变成一个横挡，破坏了位置了以后，记得我们上一场开赛前提到的4号、5号，他要做这个4、5的去攻击，同时他不攻击这边，他做 reject 的时候，若没有3个射手。1个、2个、3个，让你完全不能协防，一协防就打到身上了哈。OK， 这是第1个 play，
没错，
这是领航员这一边。那但是呢，领航员这边做足了准备，不过勇士还是带着比赛的节奏走。
没错，现在就是还是要去说这个富邦勇士的早鸟的快攻的优势啊。当这个霍师傅豁出去的时候，
豁出去了，
要珍惜这种即日到货的快攻。好，他拼命的跑，好停，他拼命的跑。霍师傅呢有一个强劲的好的冲击力量，
是
必须要好好的应用，
对，
让他从加入快攻呢，同时呢外围呢围绕他，让整个快攻呢即日到货，供应子弹。传导球，让他挤到好的位置之后，把球塞进去，让他有更好的破坏力。我们注意看哦，一进来好停，开始要移动位置，这种传导球，千万不能让这个快攻呢变成隔日才到货。
那为什么没传进去？
是
不是没付运费？
不知道，
是不是货到付款？
不知道。
对，不知道。
所以我的意思说呢。霍利菲是一种很愿意跑快攻的球员，
对，
按照他的身材体型和巨瘦，他加入快攻之后，他那个冲击性，他可以放大效能，
没错，
他可以放大效能，必须要用到他这一点，外围要供应子弹。
好，所以我们接下来下半场就看看是不是真的能够从霍利菲这边串联起来。那么领航员在最后的2、3分钟似乎有点乱掉了哈，乱掉也让勇士找到他们想要的快攻。OK， 待会见，拜拜。
好来，看来都没有进，比尔跟 Brian 帮他们捡球，看他们谁抽到先进，加油加油！瞄一下篮板，瞄他的头，瞄他的身体，打板的方式，真的打板进了！来，恭喜左手边这一组获胜，好，辛苦了，来一起来到场中，获胜的组别可以获得我们勇士的麻将。那参加奖有我们的 logo 地毯，靠近一点，左右靠近一些。好，左右靠近一些，然后礼物秀出来，笑容秀出来，看正前方。来，再一张。好，谢谢你们，恭喜你们。接着我要请我们的得奖人，神预测的得奖人，来有请，恭喜获得由神送所提 提供的智慧手表，来，比尔帮我颁发给他。看正前方，来到勇士主场，绝对是好礼给你一起拿。有机会玩游戏，有机会抽奖，还有赛前的活动，还有赛前的赠礼。谢谢你，恭喜你！来后面请，谢谢。
跑步不止跑步，还有更多可能。
有一种快，叫助人为快。
留在身上的不是捍卫，是留给地球的人情味。
速度会变，但赛意不变。
富邦 Run for Green。让跑步创造更多可能，正向力量成就可能。富邦金控。
阿平，你有看到这个斜坡吗？这是我们新的设计。你有没有觉得这样子上下更方便？
有啊，好开心哦！我要2张看机票，谢谢。遇到平权快乐庆元，富邦人寿与你我一起重视关爱平权。
支持不只是呐喊，不只是一次冲动，而是让运动。
加油加油！
各位观众，我现在在吃的就是好吃的乖乖，但是呢，我们要跟大家说的，杰哥的特展来了，来很久了，杰哥的生日要来了，就是明天啊！明天呢？就是杰哥生日，记得去跟他说声生日快乐。还有呢，本周6月8号到14号，只要你去1号仓库，哪里的1号仓库？松山文创园区，还可以获得加码版的不一样的哦。你看一下，这是正面，给大家看一下反面，非常具有纪念价值。杰哥的生日明信片，喜欢杰哥的朋友一定要去哦，尤其是这周还有特别的活动。最重要的是还有机会一个抽奖哦，怎么抽呢？记得锁定勇士的社群，会来公告一下这个抽奖活动。最后。我们的活动啊，只到6月22号。6月22号又是什么呢？就是奶昔的生日啦。所以呢，在这最近呢，明天可以去祝杰哥生日快乐。6月22号可以祝奶昔生日快乐。最重要的是要去支持杰哥的志杰传奇之路特展，就在松烟文创园区1号仓库等你来哦。
We're in the midst of our halftime break here for the P.LEAGUE Finals. Game 3 here set at Taipei Heping Gymnasium. It is Ryan Chen and Taylor Chen, your sibling broadcast duo, presenting to you tonight's game as we take a look at the halftime stats. The Pauian Pilots, they hit quite a lull, an offensive lull in the second quarter, only scoring 19 points. That's where we see the Taipei Fubon Braves now leading 50-46. And you know what? They only had that lead in the last minute of the second quarter.
Yeah, the Pilots really coming off the rails at the right time when the end of the half buzzed, because their 2 turnovers in the second quarter came at the end for the Braves. And for any team going against the Pilots, if you open up that 3-point shooting, you'll have a chance, because you know the Pilots will pack the paint. And curious enough to us, the Braves do have the 24-20 rebounding advantage. That's something you rarely see with the Pilots, and a lot of the credit goes to Zhou Guiyu, knocking down a couple threes, opening up his offensive game, and Michael Holyfield continue being a problem for the Pilots defensively. 8 rebounds and scoring 8 points is Ricky knocking down his free throws.
Yeah, Holyfield might not necessarily be the biggest threat on the court, but he's been very effective in using his whole entire body, and that's where we're seeing Alec Brown and William Artino more so being spending more of their energy on defense tonight, protecting the paint. As we can see here, Alec Brown tonight, he is 0 for 4 from the field overall, and William Artino on the other hand, well, he's still got 11 points, a respectable performance still, but as I mentioned before, Holyfield tonight, he's got 8 rebounds and scored 8 points.
Right, and again, the key with a Game 3 victory, kind of the early turn key, and one thing that we have yet to mention is that the home team, and typically the lower seed, because the Braves end up the lower seed a lot of times, 4 out of 5 of the past finals Game 3s were won by the home team, as we go to Aaron Yang Zhenlei, who's got Iryi Caminos before the Pilots get their final preparations done and set for the second half.
Okay, Coach. It's still 0 points for Ali Brown. How do you plan to do to help him to solve that problem?
Another 7 players score. They put attention on Alec, and other players step up, understanding that Alec is bringing a space for them. So the problem is not especially on the offense of Alec 0 points.
What is the one adjustment that you think is the most important for the team to take the win?
I think that on the moment that we wanted to be a little bit safe on fouls with our Bs, we play Trivium 4, we play a little bit smaller. Our defense was not how we want to be, but we understand that it's still a long game. And this lineup, on that moment, we didn't find a good rhythm. But like I'm saying, we control most of the first half. We need to back to do the first 20 minutes of the first half.
Thank you very much. 哦，在旁边访问到第一个问题是问到目前博朗只有0分，那他当然讲到我们有其他7名的球员能够跳出来，那博朗还是做他应该做的事情，所以目前在这个配合上面看起来卡总没有那么担心。第二个问题是讲到说最重要的关键是什么？在下半场，他认为呢是犯规上面的节制，另外有的时候阵容必须打得比较小一点点哦，所以他们必须要打得更聪明一些些，抓到节奏，想办法在下半场打出更好的内容。我们在这边休息一下之后回来。
赛后活动的参加朋友，看看是不是幸运的你，要记得在指定的时间地点来集合，谢谢。再来看一下第2张，这是动次席赛后活动，一样有3位幸运得主，记得在指定时间地点来集合报到。恭喜以上8位朋友。
切，这里是勇士的阵地，蓝色血脉的汇聚。和平馆灯光亮起，没人能挡住这股战役。从老将到新血，每个名字都是传奇。准备好迎接这场统治蓝坛的游戏。Let's go！ 发动引擎，东北角一个正在超车，速度像闪电，蓝洋小跑车。来听人切入防守者，只能看着他消失。脚跑成有威权的发动机，空中像显示。视野上导航点准穿针引线，后场只会让对手陷入苦战边缘。 有 MIT 的学霸，球场高的吓人，竞争投射让对手害怕。还有吴永胜，帅气球技没人能歇，完美肩负将领，全场每都为他沦陷。OK 及 KJ， 锋芒连连放冷箭，3分入网就是他最华丽的表现。这大将铲不掉，从归于再次拉高，防守锁死逆流的归于没人能敌。古德文切入，历经战绩的刀锋战士，切开防御那是最震撼的表示。比多起来，全场参与。 站起立尖叫，迎接永远的人期望。野兽领奇迹，灵魂领袖最狂野兽，还有对场才会成。外号归途洋将，这奇妙老点总在对手最痛的地方出现。究竟谁在做主？看我霸业的震撼，最强外击射，让对手陷入黑暗。像那圣将领，篮板怪物的怒吼，扬克维奇加拿大 AK 塞尔维亚的节奏。每位剑军都热数派的技术，火力飞，守在禁区那是火将，谁不能一击？别忘了，本土中锋守在蓝地。 正向进在那酷帅高冷气势第一，身高优势摆在那篮筐，由他来守护，勇士队的禁区就是进攻者的坟墓。这是勇士节奏，蓝色的荣耀，被触碰背包，身上都尖叫，所有将的信息，每一步都是经典，最强的阵容，写下最长的失败。We the best, we will praise, we the best, we will praise, we the best, we will praise, we the best。台北富邦勇士。 强者很强，不管对手是谁，我们依然站在最前方。我们是富邦勇士，制霸全场的霸气，勇士全体准备接管这场胜利。We are praise, we are best, we 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 are praise, we
of the Fubon Guardians, Lin Weizhu, the deputy team lead, in the building to take in the action of the basketball team. I'm Ryan Chen, taking over in the second and third quarter play-by-play, joined by Taylor Chen, who will resume play-by-play duties in the fourth. We're at Game 3 of the Plus League Finals, where the Taipei Fubon Braves, thanks to a 28-19 quarter 2, have a 4-point lead coming out of half. One thing that might change up things for the Braves, as I see Holyfield and Goodwin, 19 minutes played is the most in this game. Mbaye, I think he's back out for action. Had that leg contusion as Andy early on committing his third personal foul. Not very smart.
Yeah, again, he started in the game, but was pulled after 4.5 minutes of gameplay, and we have yet to see him at all in the second.
They just inbounded to Mbaye as Goodwin swings it back to him, but ball gets loose, and Amdi finally comes away with Amdi and Mbaye out of Zhenzi University, so not taking up an import spot in the international student exception, as the Braves are trying to figure out who's matched up on Alec Brown. He's going to the block up against Josh. The Pilots swinging around the Graham, squeezing Goodwin out of the way, and off the window and good.
And good patience and discipline there for Graham.
Yeah, he does have the physicality advantage against Goodwin close to the basket, as Josh curls, working a two-man with Yankovic. The rescreen, Justin stays with him from the free throw area, off target.
And came off the bench, hitting 100% of his threes, helping the Braves get the lead that they have now.
Well, Andy punches in a little putback off of Grant's floater, and just like that, Pilots tie it up. Josh getting the start here in the third, trying to target a pass back door, and Grant pokes it away. A lot of physicality allowed by the officials, as on the other side, Amdi tangled up with Yankovic, and I think the Pilots thinking it, or Andy in particular thinks it should be an upgradable foul, whereas Yergi breathing a sigh of relief. You know the look, Amdi trying to block for better position. Yankovic swim move, brushing him in back. Yeah, that should be a defensive foul.
Yeah, what we saw, foul trouble for Artino in game 2. Well, that's what we're seeing, unfortunately, for the foreign student.
Yankovic's third personal as he's shadowing Ethan, driving, flipping it up, and a close miss. He's trying to score here in the third quarter. Drive by Taoyuan, dumping it off to Chen Xiangju. They keep it moving as Yankovic is stripped off of it, and lucky for him, ends up in a kick ball. Yankovic hit a couple of threes, but choosing to go with the drive and driving into the Pilots, as Roger making a good point that in game 2, Beast had a turnover, but Alec Brown maybe inadvertently had a ball off of his shin. That's what Roger is arguing about, as Pilots try to take back the lead early in the third, as look out, collision on the attempt by Goodwin, trying to jump the pass.
I had the right idea there, but it still goes to Pilots.
They try to shoot out, while Graham, instead of fading or flaring like we saw Beast do, try to meet the pass. But there are some merits, right? You want to meet the pass to cut off the defender, but some physicality applied as the officials will go to the monitor.
And just as the Braves took the lead before the end of the second quarter, well, they have no points to show for in the third so far.
A review on the out of bounds coming up as early in the third quarter. As you mentioned, the Braves 3 turnovers and a missed shot. Not a lot of offense as there you see Goodwin might have tipped it into Graham's hands, and the referees on their own going to the monitor and making the correction. Earlier in the series, Yankovic had that kind of injury to the head, had to get patched up. Hopefully Goodwin good to go.
We see that sizable audience from the Pilots. So we heard Lu Junxiang after one of the post-game interviews saying that no matter where they are, how far they travel, there's always Pilots fans.
Patient Zhen Xiangjun, but it rolls out.
See, this is where Roger Xu was talking about before the halftime break. Still a lot of room for improvement, and they keep allowing Pilots, particularly their small guards, to swoop in to clear those rebounds.
Well, collegiate teammate Lu Junxiang takes Zhen Xiangjun for a midi, and the Pilots up by 2 as Yankovic right away counters a dribble pull-up 3. If he features that more, that'll change the geometry for the Braves.
Yeah, Holyfield and Yankovic were late signings for the Braves. You have the paint presence of Holyfield and Yankovic being a sniper. A good balance for those 2 imports.
Tough make by Justin through a crowd. Lu Junxiang in the first 2 Pilots games here way back in season 3 scored 20 points in both of those games. The Pilots end up being the first team swept in the Plus League playoffs ever. Trying to go with a pass, rotated out to Chen Yue, who clanks it.
You see Xiaobai really proving to be a threat towards Goodwin as he made no bucket attempt, and Xiaobai carried it back over to Pilots' possession.
Yeah, Yankovic not happy with the fact that Xiaobai might have caught his hands. Let's take a look at another again. Xiaobai does have the speed advantage. Yeah, maybe there is some gamesmanship there by the Pilots point guard. Because Yankovic, look here, he's already beat with Ethan's right foot on the outside. So he is beat. This reach around should result in a foul, but I think the point does stand that maybe the refs can have a little talking to with the Pilots guard.
Yankovic has already racked up his 4th foul, so Holyfield returns.
Yeah, 2 here in the third quarter. Justin lost it for a sec, put the layup on goal, but underneath the basket as a foul in transition by the Pilots stops the action.
He really lost balance there, and he really tried to push through, but not really effective, as here we have Xiaobai committing a foul. Looks like both coaches pretty unhappy about the referees.
Good one in the catch, working with Holyfield as Artino and Brown trying to hold down the middle. Off the switch, Josh will commit an offensive foul. Ended up way clear as actually a correction. Zhen Xiangjun trying to clear out space for his teammate. Getting a look, had the size mismatch. And maybe another call the Braves can look at in review, as Ethan again, the target of the foul.
He's truly shown how much of a thorn on the Braves side he's proven to be, particularly tonight.
That is a great way of putting it. He's got possession, working with Artino. around it goes. Stolen away by Archie Goodwin, ambushing there the ball possession. Meanwhile, Goodwin off the backboard and good.
Great display of defense there from the Braves, and they get rewarded with Goodwin's first bucket, I believe, in the third.
Justin being targeted, finally gives up the rock. Alec Brown getting the big-to-big screen, has a free throw area jumper. And it's going to be Artino. That's only his second personal. So his first, the ending sequence where he traveled has certainly got to, in addition to this foul, got to be adding up to some frustration. Well, we have a tight ball game here in game 3. The first official timeout here in the second half. Braves retake the lead 55-54.
来，第一组朋友，帮我跟着奶昔一起跳一跳，一起动一动。欢迎先前有来勇士主场演出的联谊，一起来跟着浩真来一起动一动，跳跳舞。 欢迎前色一起跟着浩真跳跳舞。交给身旁的伙伴一起动一动，非常好。
Thank you for tuning into this Plus League broadcast. It is the finals featuring Ryan Chen and Taylor Chen on the commentary track. If you're watching on the Plus League YouTube live stream, please leave a like. The Fubon Guardians we've seen featured a number of times are in the midst of a 5-game homestand at Xinzhuang with today so happening to be the day off for them.
They're not coming at a perfect time, especially since we're back here at Hoping Gymnasium. Again, we talked about they actually last played here as far out as mid-March. But also, it's been pouring rain, so probably a lot of postponements or game cancellations in the CPBL.
Indeed, last night's 2 games, one in Xinzhuang, one of Zouji Intercontinental down in Taichung, Can, and tonight's game in Taoyuan also postponed. One of the keys I found in studying Plus League playoff history, the team that wins 2 straight games in a playoff series goes on to win 12 out of 14 times. That's the chance the Pilots have as Archie Goodwin catch and shoot splashes down.
That was sweet coming out of the timeout.
Now time for the Pilots to answer. They have, besides the first quarter, not really gotten into good offensive rhythm.
Again, it's really with Alec Brown having to compensate on the defenses. We saw him try to take a 3 earlier, but still with 0 points tonight.
Josh took a shot to the face on that last rebounding sequence, still down for the count. Maybe Rogers saving his breath, as Braves do have possession, but their guy took a shot. And now, thanks to the help of our broadcast group, there's word that it might be a friendly fire situation.
Ouch. That's tough.
Zokoyer has been playing an excellent game, and I think rightfully so, earning more playing time. Not easy to do with the Braves coaching staff, but you can earn it, as poor Josh might feature a shiner when we come back on a Friday night.
Yeah, he's been quite effective tonight. He's coming off the bench with 12 points and 2 rebounds, and Lin Zijie gets called up.
Beast has started 4 out of the 6 games in this playoff run for the Braves. As you see Josh maybe got a gash on his left cheek. They're gonna patch him up, see if he can return. Beast in the far corner. Meanwhile, the action is Archie Goen keeping the dribble alive against Ethan. The deep step back 3, not quite. Down court, it is Lee Jiakang who quickly gets the lay-in. Not good for the Brave defense. That's the first Pilots bucket since 8:32.
The Braves allow Jiakang with the lay-in. Far too easy at that, as it's still a close game, 58-56.
Confusion on the foul situation. Holyfield and Artino going to be battling all series, as you see a Goodwin set up back screen and there was some contact. It will be a warning though against Holyfield.
Finally seeing Chen getting some minutes of rest. So we give him a lot of credit in the third, holding Goodwin down on defense and transitioning back over for Pilots.
Killers on Goodwin as Holyfield up with the alley-oop. And a great set out of the baseline, out of bounds. With that jam, let's see if they'll get some momentum, as William Martino is called for the offensive foul.
That's the momentum that you were just talking about. The answer was called.
And look, previously the Pilots in some switching situations, but leaving Guan Dayo kind of on an island, and the sweet feed by Goodwin. Meanwhile, on the other side, let's take another look. There's some bumping. Maybe you could say Artino caught Holyfield just at the wrong time. Artino quickly 3 fouls in this quarter.
And they're a little bit short of big men as Andy Dan returns back to gameplay, but he's also in a bit of foul trouble himself.
Mbaye stroking the 3, and just like the third quarter of game 2, giving the Braves some separation. In the crowd, Owen calms it down. He's got a speed mismatch against Mo. With 3 seconds left, killer Guan Dayo is rejected. And up ahead, Archie Goodwin takes it up and in. Pilots call timeout.
A nasty sequence of events, and again, credit goes to the Braves defense, particularly from Mo, as we saw earlier. Managing to hold down Chen Jianshuang, getting the block and the assist.
Beast's parents and family featured on screen as we get another look. This is the alley-oop we've already seen. Holyfield able to convert, and on the other side, Mbaye, despite an okay contest by Brown. Meanwhile, you see the block shot, and Beast dishing the assist up ahead to Goodwin. Not much that Lee Jiakang or the Pilots guards can do to him in transition. Flying up like that. See clock winding down. If there was no foul early, no chance for Guan Dayo. And the Braves once again winning quarter 3 after winning quarter 2.
This is their biggest lead in tonight's game. Tied up with the Pilots' largest lead in the first half.
the Pilots very shy or not taking any three-point shots. Yang Yiming, one of Taiwan basketball's sharpshooters. Some say the best sharpshooter in Taiwan basketball history. That's maybe not for me and my encyclopedia of knowledge on this. Not quite in the range. I need to go purchase those volumes.
You don't have all of the editions of Encyclopedia?
I was so fascinated by the letter V.
That's insane.
Would you like to,
from you?
Would you like to talk about volcanoes or the Vietnam War?
Let's talk about Mount Vesuvius.
Vesuvius. Pull-up jumper by Lee Jiakang finally puts an end to the Braves run for now. 7-point lead for the Braves as leaving Taoyuan wide open. Selecting the pass as a weak side two-man game. Beast puts it up too strong and eventually hopping out of bounds. Ram in, Owen headed to the bench. Let's need an answer.
Before the start of the third, Caminos actually didn't show too much concern for Brown. Scored 0 points in the first half.
Goodwin bumps the offensive player, and I'm not really sure what he's complaining about. Not the dribbler off balance. Maybe you could say that Lee Jiakang's arm tug, not as big of a deal as Yang Yiming having a little chat with Chen, the spokesperson of the Pilots, former general manager of the year. Guan Daiyou counter spins, misses as Andy brushes it in off the glass.
Been critical in corralling those offensive boards for the Pilots. And really, we look at the numbers, and it's only the local players that have been doing the work, provided those second chance opportunities.
As Brown beating his man and one. Had the block on one end and then attacking downhill, as you like to say, on the other end. That's the way to take advantage of numbers, as this free throw could cut it to a 2-point game. The Alec Brown, known as a shooter, Mo knows that, and the dribble jive was available.
And credit for the adjustment. He's usually sitting pretty out in the perimeter, making those threes, but again, he's been pretty cold and 0 for 2. And
yeah, the Braves got to maybe have a case on this one as Goodwin pulls it down. Because well, the referees will review it, but because if the Braves are super unlucky, they could count that as a 2-point own goal and not the just free throw interference, which would be 1 point. And it's very, very close, but Goodwin apparently brushing it off the rim, which is legal on free throw attempts. It is very close.
it looks like it hits the top of it, so does it matter where it sits? They're still evaluating, and they want to look at a different point of view now.
The biggest thing is, as long as the ball is not inside the cylinder, which is where you have trouble.
Okay,
so as you heard, Braves basketball featuring this gold jersey that they debuted at Taipei Arena for Beast's retirement. The last two finals, the Pilots failed to score above 85 points. Back in the 24 finals, they lost 83-82 to the New Taipei Kings on that Joseph Lin made 3 toward the end. And then last year, the Braves went on a 12-0 run, basically to end the game, and defeating the Pilots 88-81. Baye over to back in the game. Zhou, his shot is off as physical rebounding for white, or for black, excuse me.
Yeah, they're gonna need any luck or any good juju that they can get with these black jerseys. Well, they swept their homestand at the Mini Dome. And that was where they managed to get their first and only game win against the Pilots in the regular season, and they won by 19 points.
Right out of the baseline, out of bounds. Goodwin was held, they said. Now he's working something off of his left arm after working the right wrist. See, he's holding off two guys. He was holding off Guan Da-Yo and Li Jiakang as he conked Guan Da-Yo on the way down. Kind of unlucky for number 6. If there is a foul first, you can negate that contact if you're the official. So free throws upcoming for Archie Goodwin. Archie Goodwin, at times during the season, went through his own free throw roller coaster ride, ended up 60% from the line. Improved in these playoffs to 68%. Was 0 for 3 in game 2. Cashing in a couple. So as things have not gone the Pilots' way, they only find themselves down by 2 possessions. Brown trying to set up as Jackie drives by his man, puts it up and in.
Outran Lin Zijie there.
These can be beat off the dribble as we've seen in this series, but left open, taking the open 3 and good.
No sweat for Lin Zijie up on top.
Counter missed as a rebound by Yankovic. Hasn't been in the game for all that long. You see Beast is proven to be one of the best shooters in Taiwan basketball domestically, working off those screens, as most of his career he was on ball. A good feed by Yankovic, screened by Holyfield, and some 3 teammate magic. Graham good with the first free throw. It's not going away quietly, but they do need to find some offensive rhythm.
Usually you have Alec Brown averaging with no sweat double digits, particularly against the Braves, but with him only scoring 3 points in tonight's game and the Braves executing their plays accordingly, well, we still have them leading. And as you mentioned, Ryan, only by 2 possessions, but any lead is better than no lead.
Sunshine Dream inbounds it as it will be Holyfield and 4 local players. Another deep 3 off the back iron, and a scramble for the rebound won by the Pilots.
And that'll push, that could really push the Braves to the distance if they box out more and fight more for those rebounds.
Travel against Travion Graham, who put his head down against Holyfield. You know, look, Holyfield doing a good job sliding his feet, and Graham kind of surrendering himself by trying to lower his shoulder. But one of the key is you got to get around the defender, not into him. hands off to Beast. Gonna find some room going right. Picked up the dribble though. Time running down. Out to Holyfield. Dribble pull up floater. Clanks.
Definitely not his shot there.
Scramble for the rebound. Won by the Braves. Fresh 14 as Beast. Another catch and shoot. Off the mark and foul on the rebound. That's the power of that second chances, because then guys are kind of mismatched and advantageous rebounding situation can form. As you see Guan Dayo slap at Holyfield's arm. Holyfield rattles in the free throw. In that Lioneer season he had a couple years ago, averaged 11 points and 11 rebounds in 3 games here at Taipei Hooping Gymnasium.
Yeah, helped them get to the playoffs one year, and in Lioneers fashion, they alternate years in and out of playoffs. And his younger brother, TJ Holyfield, playing a season.
Brown from the mid-post, shakes one man off in. Apparently a goaltend by Holyfield. Had the effort, just a beat too late. I think Alec Brown and the Pilots will take it though. And we see Zokwe completely shook. That's a ankle breaker I really don't expect. It's pretty close, but
yeah.
Alec Brown shoots from such a high point. You can imagine the ball is going downward and not up.
Yeah, so credit goes to the referees for making that call, because quite frankly, we wouldn't have been able to tell if it weren't for cameras running in slow motion.
Not a great pass, not a great secure catch, and the Braves turned it over, and the Pilots have a chance to tie it up with 13 seconds remaining in the third.
I don't think we'll see Ape come in tonight as he looks onwards towards the court.
Taoyuan did play a big role in the Braves' 3 championships and is still a very important vocal leader as Justin takes a tough turnaround. And with the red lights on, the quarter has ended. Very quick 13-second last possession, but it's in the books. Braves 71, Pilots 68 through 3 quarters. The 4th and final frame and coming up after this.
丹丹本人邀请你一起来示范一下，双手放嘴巴前，一起呐喊来为勇士加油！待会被拍到的朋友就跟着丹丹一起来哦！来2位朋友，可以举个毛巾跟看板，双手放嘴巴前，一起来。2位一起跟着丹丹做出一样的动作，非常好，非常可爱。下一组朋友换你们喽，别害羞，不要害羞，一起跟着丹丹做出一样的动作。看到雅一。这应该是阿勇。来了2位，跟着丹丹一起来，请你跟我这样做。欢迎悍将的投手张毅，跟着丹丹做出一样的动作。欢迎贤舍，非常好，太可爱了。来2位，欢迎你们，跟着丹丹做出一样的动作。欢迎悍将的选手魔力兰，非常可爱 ，so cute。欢迎曾俊岳，来跟着丹丹一起。
Welcome back to the broadcast. You're listening to the English commentary track featuring yours truly, Ryan Chen, and in the 4th quarter, handing it over to Taylor Chen.
Thanks, Ryan. Well, We witnessed the third quarter where the Braves, they continue to hold on to a lead. And again, we're still seeing the Pilots having a lull, and they only took one attempt from out on the perimeter, and that was actually from Lee Jiakong. And I would say in the third quarter, we still have yet to see any sense of urgency, and maybe they kind of need to show some desperation on the court.
谢谢你支持。
Indeed, both teams with only 18 for the Braves, 19 for the Pilots. Field goal attempts, it seems like a very slow-paced third quarter and kind of a slow-paced quarter two as well, if you think about it.
It seems to be a trend, as we've already seen it in Game 2 and now in Game 3. Junxiang going in for the first attempt. Artino picking up where he left off.
Yeah, it seems like the putback is the Pilots' best offensive weapon. Taking a page out of what Holyfield and Zhenshan have done for the Braves.
Artino not putting in any minutes towards the second half of the third. Got himself into some foul trouble.
You know the look at Archie Goodwin going against former teammate Alec Brown, coming down to help, and seems like a soft whistle to me.
Yue outwards to Zhou Guiyu. Too short for a big Mo. Again, though, they're boxing out and corralling those rebounds, allowing them to make more attempts.
Take more attempts indeed, as Holyfield, kind of a one-man army, blocking out two guys on multiple possessions.
Still proving himself to be difficult to manage for both Brown and Artino. As with the challenge call, we have Caminos here corralling his players. So this is our first challenge in tonight's game.
The officials have been more proactive going to the monitor themselves, as you know the look. It's coming off of Holyfield's chest at some point. Now the question is, was Justin get another brush?
It does go back and forth. I need to slow down the clip, because it does hit the inside of his arm.
Well, in this game that's kind of been low scoring, got a feeling that both teams are just simply desperate for some momentum, and a lucky break, I'm sure nobody will deny.
Even though we have a rematch from the last finals, well, it's a different story in terms of scoring. Again, I mentioned earlier that there's only been 6 points of separation in these last two games, and look at that, where you're only seeing the Pilots down by 1 point. We're back here at Taipei Heping Gymnasium. See if the Braves can make a run for their money here at home. But not like that, though. That pass goes through Zhou Guiyu's legs.
Good job by Justin, though, denying Archie Goodwin that first look. And then the Braves just shoot themselves in the foot. To Chen Youwei's credit, has not been that turnover prone himself.
Yeah, but again, with a low score right now, can't really afford those turnovers, as who knows, the Pilots, they can manage come out with a comeback.
Not to that extent, but this game is kind of giving me East Asia Super League Final Four vibes, with Alec Brown not getting much scoring going.
Definitely. But hey, it could be worse. He could still be with 0 points, in which was what we saw against the Hiroshima Dragonflies.
Man down, but he recovers as Artino facing down Goodwin with Mbaye in support.
Reset out to giving the ball back over to Will Artino, but there you see help defense there provided by Braves. And there you have it, Holyfield corralling the rebound. Well, again, Pilots bigs tonight unable to contribute as much as they usually could, as Archie Goodwin gets the lay-in.
One of the rare instances where the Braves defense actually spreads out away from Archie Goodwin instead of collapsing in.
He parted the orange seas.
That he did, as again the Pilots go to one of their imports posting up. The tough night continues.
That is to say, Goodwin was there to guard Brown and Artino earlier in that possession. And, you know, credit to his offense, but he's not the best defender on the court.
Maybe an unnecessary foul in transition by Josh. Just get another look. See Alec Brown jab toward the ball handler, but the problem was there was no big underneath to stop Archie Goodwin.
Yeah, Artino again having to exert all of his energy in guarding Holyfield. You're missing that help protecting that paint. Trevion Graham checking back into the game. From up top, contested with no answer. And again, the problem that Roger relayed to Yang Zhenlei was the offensive rebounds that the locals from the Pilots were providing. Well, they've been shut down in the second half. Archie Goodwin threads the needle to Michael Holyfield for the monster jam.
Yeah, first it was Holyfield cutting from the opposite side. This time Holyfield kind of working down from the high post for that open look.
It's not Justin's first time tripping up. We saw earlier in the first, out of sheer luck, him kind of tripping up, but making that long range two.
You see Holyfield kind of brushed that screen and it allowed him an easy roll, and Goodwin patient with the play. Found the right passing angle because Artino has denied a number of passes. He and Alec Brown are very disruptive in that way as well.
Popping out Goodwin. Stepping back for the long range two, deep down in his bag. They try to pull ahead even further. The score is now 77-70 as Graham tries to fire back with a quick response.
And the Pilots kind of being shy with their three-point shots, despite being the best three-point team by regular season record. As you see Archie Goodwin, once he starts getting some dribble drives going, he feels a lot more comfortable with his handle, so the dribble pull-ups get going and the three-point shot will follow.
Pilots trying to start things up. Not a great start with Graham on the floor. Junxiang pulls up and he draws a foul off of Zhou Guiyu.
Well, Josh could laugh it off now, as the Braves feel like a three-possession lead is quite comfortable. Initially played good defense, just reached down at the wrong time. Good catch by the official.
Yeah, just the slightest contact. And the referees caught it, so. And Pilots, well, they get a bit of a break.
Justin was a perfect 6 for 6 from the line in game 2, but in the postgame admitted he's had made adjustments pretty much every minute out there, and it seems like the Braves are keying in on him so well in this series.
1 for 2.
He is averaging 21 points, but that's on 24 and a 37% from 2 and 3 respectively. That's pretty bad.
Pulling the trigger. Oh, is off target. Holyfield trapped between Andy Dien and Justin. But there's a recovery. Here's Archie Goodwin from the wing with no answer. Back over to the Pilots. Gonna get the first look. 10 seconds remain. Junxiang with 3 seconds, forcing it around Zhou Guiyu. Once again, Braves this time proving to be more effective on defense than Pilots.
Maybe Justin's luck ran out after that lucky floater in the first half.
King is still asleep as Holyfield will get sent to the line.
I get a feeling that this might be the lineup Yergi wants to mount this comeback in, but they are showing that they have zero offensive team chemistry, just isolations all day. And the Braves are happily facing up to the challenge. And just as I say that, Travion Graham heads to the bench.
Then Xiangjun also returns to the court. Holyfield missing the first. He's had 8 free throws attempts tonight. He makes the second one. Well, he's still 5 for 8 tonight. Or now 5 for 10 now. And you mentioned, Ryan, it's not the biggest lead, but it's enough insurance right now as they couldn't convert that possession into points, as Archie Goodwin will make him pay for it as gets them a coast-to-coast finish.
Yeah, the Pilots had the aggressive defense in game 2, but that time the Braves got their hands on it and went off to the races.
Pulling up. The long range 2 is good for Alec Brown. He only logged in 6 points tonight, 3 for 9 from the field.
Yeah, but just feel like Ethan kind of shuffled it off to him, offered up a half-hearted screen, and Alec Brown still had to convert off of a dribble pull-up. Not good offense by the Pilots.
Talking about them not being in sync. 3 seconds. Then Xiangjun forces the bucket. That goes high up and down low, rattling in another 2-piece. 5 minutes remain. Pilots have no answer as of yet. They were close to tying the game in the end of the third quarter, but just like that, Caminos has to settle down with his players right now.
Sounds like he's arguing he didn't want this timeout, as there's some kind of buzzer from the scorer's table, but I feel like his team has needed 3 or 4 timeouts in the second half as play continues.
Yankovic checks back into the game. So the Braves pull ahead in the fourth, still scoring 10 points, 5 only for the Pilots. Barely manages to find Guan Dayo from the corner. Down the hatch, he gets a 3-piece, 11 points coming off the bench.
It's the first made 3 by the Pilots in the second half.
Oh, Yankovic, though, says not a problem. He bags the 3 without any problems. He's 100% from out in the perimeter. Pilots just fighting to get points. Yankovic really proving to himself to be quite effective. Getting those threes. Guan Dayou will get called the jump ball. Made contact with Zheng Xiangjun. He's still on the floor.
Jump ball seems pretty fair to me, as despite the Brave player being knocked down, throughout this fourth quarter, the Pilots haven't run their sets at all. It's either ISOs or just driving kicks, as Port Zheng Xiangjun got briefly stepped on and flown over. Fellow six-year players, Killer, Jack, and Josh tangled up there for a bit, as maybe Killer end up with a hip bruise.
Desperate measures come in desperate times for the Pilots. So the referees will look at the IRS to see if there's a means to grant an unsportsmanlike foul.
Definitely did not have this in mind, though the Braves fans were seeing Guan Dayou kind of rip that basketball and try to put it up. Oh, is there a little bit of a...
Yeah, a brief kick towards the end, so not here, but upon landing, again, you mentioned, Ryan, a little hip bruise there. You see that kick out from his left leg. So again, the jump ball will still stand as we hear from the referees.
Kind of hard to justify Guan Dayou's left-footed kick. If he would have tried to just stretch out, he would have kicked with both legs and not just with the left leg, as the referees are also going to add a review to a possible 2 or 3 early on the game. Well, the Pilots continue to find a hard time to string together victories against the Braves in these finals. And tonight, they are really just having an out-of-body experience. Their defense probably giving themselves a C game, but their offense is, again, in game one, we had a disappointment from their shot making, but, you know, they are also holding the Braves down. But in this game, the Braves defense is not doing anything as exotic as we've seen before, and yet the Pilots are not putting in their offensive sets, not really trusting each other, a lot of one-on-ones.
Yeah, we've been mentioning in these last couple of games, Roger putting in some different forms of defense, whether it's some variation of box and one, transitioning to man-to-man, but it hasn't been too complicated. And what we're seeing right now is the referees are actually are also evaluating whether or not Guan Dayou's 3 should stay a 3, or it needs to be adjusted to a 2.
经过裁判主动检视，争球之后，后续关达佑的踢的动作，我们给予一次 U foul， 所以由曾祥军罚2球之后加球权。
So they do in fact give Guan Dayou an unsportsmanlike foul after the jump ball call. So what we're now going to have is Zheng Xiangjun will be sent to the line for free throws, and the Braves will have possession. So that is pretty detrimental right now for the Pilots. Luckily for the Pilots, Zheng Xiangjun, this is the first free throw.
Well, he was a struggle at the line, 22 for 50 during the regular season. A little bit better so far in the playoffs, and they can still make it hurt with this offensive possession.
I will say that was tough to watch.
The free throw shooting or the foul?
Oh, both. so the free throw shooting. Maybe we could say he came off the bench cold. Either way, Pilots coming through. Braves, though, quick on transition. And that's a pushing foul on Andy Dien.
I would say if Alec Brown makes that floater, there's not even a rebound to go for. So, you know, you keep on adding insult to injury, I think is the phrase. Because look, if the ball goes in, Andy doesn't even need to take to the air and foul Zheng Xiangjun.
Yankovic with a downhill pass to Archie Goodwin. Hits it too short off of the ring. And Justin off the bank. To show for, intercepted by Chen Youwei.
Good read of Guan Daiyou's eyes. With Guan Daiyu not a threat even looking at the basket. You got to keep that defender honest.
At this point, all Braves have to do is just hold down the Pilots. As we mentioned before, this is enough of a lead. With the Pilots being so out of sync with each other.
They only have 30 second half points. And again, their previous 2 game 3s failed to reach 85 points. They're far away from that.
Stopping his tracks. Xiaobai with a hop step, finding Will Artino, having to beat the shot clock there with no avail. Sending it back over to Braves.
The good news is, unlike last year, the Pies don't have to go to Ulaanbaatar. The bad news is, they don't have to go to Ulaanbaatar to get a mental reset.
Ouch. Maybe a major climate change will kind of bring them back to life.
Not seeing Li Jiakang for prolonged stretches here in the second half as he beats Archie Goodwin. Just a little, excuse me, Faust not getting his feet out of the way.
Well, the minutes are dwindling down further. We've only got 2 minutes remaining in game 3 of the finals. Quick toss-up for Brown. And Artino picks it up. From the parking lot, Xiaobai for the 3.
I would counter
Sails.
That the Pilots don't need to just settle for 3s. You can get an open 3 on a dribble drive. The Braves are probably smelling the victory, will collapse their defense.
Holyfield too shy there between Brown and Will Artino. That squeezes out of bounds and it sends it off back to Pilots.
Kind of a lucky break with Holyfield trying to go up against 2 of the Pilot centers. You would think it might be a black ball. The Pilots in their 3rd straight Plus League finals, going down 2 seasons ago, 4-1 to the new Taipei Kings after a 1-1 tie, and then last year really putting in the effort at the end to come back from a 2-3 series deficit as the review giving us in as maybe Holyfield's right hand rushes forward.
Lucky for the Braves. They're gonna need to put in the coach's challenge from the baseline angle. Still hard to tell. But perhaps there, might have seen Brown's left hand slightly touching there. Actually, his pinky to be exact.
It is very close to call, so really don't fault the referee for not getting right in the first instance. One thing that was disappointing about the Pilots in last year's game 3, they only 10 for 40 from 3. Actually doesn't sound too bad in this game, but 20 turnovers against the Braves, who ironically 8 for 21 from 3, not as many attempts and only 16 turnovers. So kind of a reverse of what we saw a lot of this series.
Wow, too tough of a call to really change it. So possession is still with the Pilots. And as Ryan likes to say, well, there's 90 seconds remaining for the Pilots to pull off a miracle, quite frankly.
Back in the first quarter, they did it by very egalitarian scoring. 7 Pilots got on the scoreboard to get to their 27. That frame, double team.
Tino too far from the paint, resolves to finding his men, but instead that's a turnover, leading it back to Braves. Goodwin charging through, out of bounds. Trying to play hero there.
Well, he was trying to find a teammate, but a little hard to believe that it did go off of a Pilot, because if the pass went through, it would have hit the cutting teammate of Goodwin there. But he's showing some frustration. Don't know if it's for the call or for the mistake, as you see the line score across. The Braves in solid control of this one.
One stop, we have to go down. You know that? That's good. We'll get down. Like that's one minute， 这个 let go 了，来，兄弟们，然后不换人吗？可以吗？没有啊，刚刚那走的好好的，我们几次了 ，we three stop， OK， we try four stop，OK， 再来进攻的时候 ，5 men， only you always stay somebody point guard, shooting guard, catch ball, use that screen, help everyone going. Then we go pistol, forward, start. 只有 pistol 可以打。When before they trap, pass. Okay, let's go.
There you see the quarter scores. The Pilots have only scored 8 points in the fourth quarter.
3 of 18 shooting, and also not helping themselves with 3 turnovers. But I think it's not so much the misses, it's really what their offense is doing, which is a lot of one-on-ones, and then some dribble drive, which the Braves are doing a great job sliding their feet, getting into the lane. And the Braves are slowly marching their way to another 2-1 series lead, just like last year.
Contested shot, a tough one to make for Alec Brown in this game. Finding Xiaobai up top, hitting nothing but air. Well, this might be it for the Pilots tonight. They're still keeping their rotational players on the court. Still fighting through, but that is Hu Junxiang's foul, which will force the Braves to free throws.
They'll gladly take it just in these low pressure situations, get a rhythm from the line, and kind of look forward to Friday. Also a 7 p.m. tip. Kind of hard to believe the Pilots setting the Plus League regular season record in winning percentage, 21-3, not defeated at home this season. And now showing some frustration with each other, getting the rebound and the player tying out.
I have to go. Don't worry. Now, go. Owen.
They are not known as the forever number 2s for a reason, breaking through in last year's finals. To their credit, under Irigiuminos have built up a 66% regular season win percentage, finishing the East Air Super League with 11 wins and 6 losses and a plus 163 point differential. That's 6 times greater than the, that's over 2 seasons. That's 6 times greater than the mark of the Ryukyu Golden Kings, who have a better winning percentage than the Pilots in 2 East Air Super League seasons. And the Pilots, of course, storming through Basketball Championship League Asia East at 15 wins and 3 losses over 2 seasons, but not capturing the big one 2 years in a row.
Looking at the score now, 85-76. If the Pilots can't score any more points, well, they tie with their game low from last year. The Game 1 finals between Braves and Pilots. Well, the Braves won 78-76. And still no points for the Pilots coming out of the short timeout called by Jurgi Caminos. And there you have it. Regulation clock and game clock, or shot clock, with the shot clock turned off now. As we do stop in the game here, the head coach is shaking hands now, and that will conclude Game 3 of the Plus League Finals. A very anticlimactic finish, unfortunately, for the Pauian Pilots, but a huge win for the Taipei Fubon Braves here back at Heping Gymnasium.
You could look at the fourth quarter score of only 14-8. Incredibly low scoring, but really problems for the Pilots started very early on. They were already kind of thrown off rhythm starting the second quarter. Despite outscoring the Braves in quarter 3, you never got a feeling that down the stretch, the way that they were playing could lead to good results. I think the only thing from the first half is they shot 70% from the paint in the first half. The Braves only 30% from the paint. Okay, that's the game plan, but their interesting reluctance to take 3-pointers throughout the game. I understand if you don't shoot a good percentage, don't go for it. But at the same time, it was like they were letting the Braves dictate what they were doing on offense. And by the end, the Braves just simply had to man up. And the Pilots kind of threw the ball away, clanked a whole bunch of shots, and another victory for the Braves here at home. As remember, last year the Pilots won the last game in the finals here because Game 6 was moved to Taoyuan Arena. That was the Pilots 91-75 with Justin scoring 28 points. Remember, they were major fatigued flying back from Ulaanbaatar, flying to and back from Ulaanbaatar in a 3-day stretch as we're finally getting set up with Josh Zhou, getting interviewed by our colleague Aaron.
今天在上半场的进攻状况一直都非常好，3分球命中率100%。整场比赛下来呢，你也缴出最高的正负值。先谈一下今天的状况。
其实就是前几场的状况自己没那么好，那其实一直告诉自己说，冠军这个系列赛就是需要更多的球员去跳出来。那前面几场包含右伟，然后古德文他们都打出很好的内容。那我也想要就是教练团跟球员也都一直很信任我、相信我，所以就是必须要再更多的球员跳出来，然后拿下更多场的胜利。
除了进攻之外，防守你其实下半场也花了很多的心力，特别是有非常多球去守到对方的王牌的球员。来谈一下自己在防守上面的设定，好不好？
其实就是知道自己的优势在哪里嘛。那可能进攻大家打得顺的时候，那就去透过防守也是可以帮助球队。那特别在冠军赛，就是防守我觉得是更重要，所以就是教练团也信任我，那就是 想办法把对方守住，对球队是一个很大的贡献。这样
打那一下，你知道是祥军吗？你知道是祥军哦。有什么话跟祥军说？
其实我一开始不知道，是他一下来的时候就跟我说抱歉，我也不知道发生什么事情。
OK， 好，那另外讲到一个，就是在关键的时刻，你好像都可以跳出来，特别是跟杰哥有关的。他隐退的时候，你缴出了准大3元。明天是杰哥的生日，你今天也打得非常好，是不是真的很想要帮这位学长留下冠军金杯？
这个是全队上下都有一致的目标，那就是对我们还在 往这个目标去迈进。对，
好，跟现场所有的勇士迷们说几句话。
谢谢大家到场帮我们加油，然后，对，然后我们还需要2场胜利，就希望大家可以陪着我们一起走下去，这样。
再一次的掌声给周桂宇。
我可以说一句话吗？
好，还有，
今天是我爸爸的农历生日，所以想跟他说生日快乐。但他可能没有来，就转播生日快乐。
生日快乐！谢谢桂宇，谢谢，请签名。
来，桂宇帮我来到中间，我们要来请你签名球，要来送给今天的幸运球迷。大家也先别急着离开哦。还有机会要来送给现场的你们。现场的来了 ，Everybody， 最后一个，掌声送给周桂宇。来，富邦Angels集合，富邦Angels来到场中。
So Zhou Guiyu talking to our own Yang Zhenlei, shooting 100% from 3 and prioritizing defense, and defense is what will win games. They managed to hold down the Pauian Pilots way below their season points per game average. There you see it, the final score 85-76. As we see the final stats line here, and you see the Pilots were abysmal from out on the perimeter. They only made 3 of their 21 shots from out on the perimeter tonight.
And I think the biggest key is the Pilots, we keep on talking about, kept on going one-on-one, had incredible low number of assists, only 11 by our colleagues at Formosa Television, with 15 turnovers, really playing unlike them. The only good news, they had 8 blocks and only allowed 30 points in the paint, but not very good against the Braves by Yankovic, Goodwin, Holyfield, and Josh. All scoring, they have a scoring hierarchy, as Killer Guandayo was alluding to, a role kind of solidification with the Pilots. That's how they play so well, but they're gonna need to really dig deep to try to come back in this series.
Yeah, they really showed that they unfortunately could not respond, or they were not reactive enough. So they're going to have to react or respond very quickly, as we have another 7 o'clock tip-off once again here at Heping Gymnasium. As we have just been, Plus League has just announced the Plus League draft will be coming up in a couple of days on June 12th at 5 o'clock.
That's the sign up for all prospective amateur players to join the professional ranks. And well, for the Pilots, the good news is they're only down by a game, and they did come back in last year's finals. It did go down to the wire for the Plus League's first and only ever 7-game series that came down to the wire, a winner-take-all game. The Pilots certainly didn't play like it in this one, and by my experience, you really can't give away any playoff games, and the Braves certainly showed they understood the assignment.
Most definitely. So they're starting off strong in their homestand, and as I mentioned before, let's see if the Pilots can give off a quick response. And I just want to say, we thank you so much for tuning in to another Plus League broadcast. Ryan Chen and Taylor Chen presenting to you Game 3. Take care, folks. We'll catch you on the next one.